All right, welcome everyone to another Trendline training video. I've got us pulled up here on CAD Yen on the 30-minute time frame, and the subject of this video is what I like to call trendline fanning. And I'm going to show you what trendline fanning is here in the actual chart because I feel like that's the best way to explain it, is like a real visual representation of what it is. Since you have a pretty solid understanding of trend lines, hopefully by this point, it'll be easier for you to grasp. And what we use trend line fanning for is to judge trend strength, to help us get an idea about whether a trend is strong or weak or continuing or ending. So let's just do this. Let's look on the left-hand side of the screen, and we're going to identify a significant major trend line in the market. So I'm going to go ahead and mark our low right here. I'm going to mark another low right here. And we're going to connect this with a trend line. I'm just going to pull it all the way through here. All right, so here is our trend line, and this is kind of like the main, solid trend line over here for this bullish move to the upside. And what I want to do is walk you guys through a progression. So here's our major trend line, but notice how if you look right in this area right here, see we had a steeper move that occurred within our overall ascending trend line support. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and use this original value right here, this original connection point for the trend line, and I'm going to start a steeper trend line and pull it up through like so. All right, so I'm going to get rid of this yellow here. All right, so I'm looking at this area right here. This area right here for our connections for the steeper trend line. And I have a question for you all. So when this trend line right here breaks, so when this trend line right here, when this trend line breaks, do you expect that we're going to continue to the upside, or do you expect that we're going to see a new trend, possibly a bearish reversal in the market? Right, the idea conceptually is that when a trend line breaks, it's typically designed to show you a potential reversal in trend. So when this bullish trend line breaks, we would then start to expect, hey, okay, we're now in seller's territory. We're seeing some weakness at the very least in our trend. We might see a trend reversal. Now, when this trend line breaks, and you're right over here in this area after the trend line break, how do you feel about your overall trend line over here? How do you feel about this one? Do you still feel solid about it? Yeah, I mean, it's still a solid trend line. Price could very well come back down to this trend line, find support, and then continue on. That's fair. But okay, so we're right over here in this area, and we're watching for price. And then we notice that another low in the market is created. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to, again, come from our original point right here, and I'm going to draw a trend line connecting this new low and pull it through. And then I noticed, so we had this break right here, and now we're going to have a break right here as well. So now we've seen another bullish ascending trend line break. All right, and then we keep moving over here, and then we get to this one. We see a rise right here. So right after we see that rise, we're going to create a trend line right here. I'm going to pull that through like so. And then that trend line breaks, okay? And each time these trend lines are breaking, we're feeling like, our trend seems to be getting weaker and weaker and weaker. We continue to form these ascending trend line supports, and we continue to break and bust right through them. By the time price gets to our original trend line over here, what happens? Of course, just like the previous three trend lines, price breaches it. And ultimately, we're going to see a trend reversal now. Price breached it right here. We're going to mark our highs. Let's see if price ever makes a new high after this. It does not. We hold at the highs and then we drop. So that's kind of the idea. This so-called fanning pattern allows you to kind of gauge and read the strength of the overall trend. Once you see that these trend lines start to fan out, start to break down, you can start to question whether or not you're still in a healthy trend or not. whether or not you really want to be taking buys over in this area, or if you want to wait, or if you want to even switch your bias and start selling. I'd be a lot more hesitant to take a buy trade right in this area off of our overall major trend line support after seeing all of these trend lines fan out and break down like that. And then again, it doesn't have to just apply to your overall trend line. You can actually use it to follow a trend all the way through. So I'm going to give us some more examples here. So if you look over here, we've got another low. So we're going to, and this time since we've broken our major trend line, I'm going to start back here from the bottom. I'm going to connect it like so. Okay, breaches. What's the next trend line we're watching? Well, the next one, there's a low right here. There's a low right here. There's a low right here. Lows over here. Let's start to gauge it. So notice how each time a trend line forms here, it's breaking down, breaking down, breaking down. See this? This is how you know that your trend has reversed. This is how you follow a trend reversal. This is the key. And also you can use this trend line fanning technique to help you enter and manage your trades as well. Each time one of these bullish ascending trend lines on the screen is breaking, it's giving you a sell opportunity. Each time one of them holds a support, you're able to gauge whether or not the buyers are in the market, whether or not you actually want to look to exit your trades and take buys. It helps you gauge the overall market environment, the overall trend, and therefore, of course, helps you understand what trades you need to be taking. This trend line fanning technique is extremely important and valuable when it comes to gauging your trends. So use it, add it to your arsenal, practice with it, and watch your overall profitability improve.